Good morning, good morning. It is Saturday. It is 6 a.m. in Brisbane, Australia, and I thought I'd come on here and do a live. I will wait to see if anyone joins, but then I will jump straight in. Come on, say hello. Come on and say hello. If you're there, got my coffee. I won't hang around. If you're watching this on the replay, please obviously give it a thumbs up. I'm going to show and share my screen. See if I did a little presentation on the 5 common. Okay, it's not letting me. So I wonder if I share my screen. Share screen. See if that will work. Yeah. Use password. Allow. Let's see if I can. See if I can share my screen. Okay. We just want to open recent. See if this works. Sorry, I'm a noob. I'm a noob at this. See if you can see. Okay. Okay, I don't think that's going to work. So I will just go through my tips. That's a shame. Apparently I have to export it to PDF first, which is a bit bad. It was a PowerPoint. But anyway, I thought I'd just talk about the 5 common mistakes that DoorDashers make when first starting DoorDashing. Obviously, I was there in November and I had the same issues that most people probably experience or haven't experienced yet because they haven't started doing DoorDash or Uber Eats. So I will just bring up my presentation and start from the beginning. So welcome, thank you, appreciate you joining me today. If you could please give it the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I share my daily vlogs, or not daily vlogs. I'm doing 3 to 4 videos a week plus a couple of lives, just really what it's like to be an Uber Eats and DoorDash driver in Brisbane, Australia. Obviously, my experience is different to everyone else's experience. So it's not all going to be the same. But my common mistakes that I made when I first turned DoorDash on. Now, DoorDash was a breeze compared to Uber Eats, I must admit, but we're not going to talk about Uber Eats this morning. I'll save that for another day. My common most mistakes with DoorDash when I first started were, number one, is not understanding the app. I guess that was a really big issue because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand, obviously I knew the app. I used it a little bit, but I wasn't really aware of what was happening. And I guess my main advice is I should have really done some research on YouTube or something like that, where I could have, had watched a how-to guide. That probably would have been, especially in your state, in your area, because like I said, my experience is not going to be your experience and vice versa. So I would suggest getting used to the app first. When you first go on, you're probably going to get a few jobs. It is a bit daunting. When I first went on, my main experience was, for some reason, my iPhone did not support the app. and I got all these jobs. I couldn't accept them. Well, I could get them. I got the notification on my phone saying you got a new order, go to so and so. I couldn't, when I went into the app, it wasn't there. I tried calling customer support. They couldn't help me. All they could say is, turn your phone on and off, update the app, those kind of issues that were really stressful. And, it was really concerning that I was literally, getting these jobs. I didn't know what I was doing. It was really like my anxiety was throughout the roof. So YouTube tutorials, just expect your first session not to go as well and not to be as perfect. And there will be ups and downs because you are getting used to it. So do your research, and come on here and find other like-minded YouTubers that do DoorDash, and you can probably get a lot from that, which I didn't really. I just went in, opened the app, and make sure your phone supports it. For some reason, it would work on my husband's Samsung. So that day, we missed out on about 10 jobs in the morning because we kept getting them. And I had to then use my husband's phone. He had a Samsung. And I eventually, about a day later or 2 days later, I upgraded my iPhone. So, I don't know why I had these issues, nor did DoorDash support. It was really annoying. But anyway, I got a new iPhone, and for some reason, the iPhone 16 was perfect. It didn't have any problems. So I only had the iPhone 13, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I wish I could share these slides. I did a little slide presentation to show you all, but obviously it's not meant to be. And yeah. Hello, Mrs. Bree. How are you? Hello, Shrinking Shadow. I was just saying I did do some slides about the 5 common mistakes that DoorDashers make, and it isn't obviously a bit like DoorDash and Uber Eats. When you first use it and you're supposed, share your slides, there's going to be teething errors. But anyway, second, claim. Like, just make sure anything you're doing on the job that costs money, for example, your kilometers, get a logbook. Make sure you're keeping an eye on those Ks. It's different country to country, and I'm not a tax agent. I have no idea about the ins and outs, so don't quote me. But I got an app, a driver's note app, which is really useful. So every time, I think it costs $17 a month, and every time I use it, I actually, it asks me, like, it tells me my kilometers, and it basically, there's a mozzie in the house. Great. Mozzie's going to try and bite me. It tells me about, what case, and I have to mark it, whether it's personal or whether it's business purposes. It's not going to bite me. So yeah, make sure you get a logbook. You can do a little logbook that's as simple as, writing it down yourself. I did that for the first few weeks and I got bored of that. So I got the driver's note, which is really handy, but that is up to you. In Australia, you can claim up to 5,000 Ks without actually showing any evidence. But after that, then you need a logbook. So I went with the logbook. You can claim a lot more and I can get a lot more money, because let's face it, it's a low pay job. You don't get paid very well. So you might as well get as much as you can. Also, lunches, while you're out, you can claim lunches because technically it's a work lunch. So just, save your receipts. Accepting orders, obviously, again, getting used to the app. And single, double orders, at first you will accept them and you're like, whoa, it's actually picking up elsewhere after this. I guess it's just getting used to the screen. DoorDash is a lot easier to read than what Uber Eats is, I'll be honest. Again, I'm not going over Uber Eats at the moment. We can do another session on Uber Eats. But yeah, the screen sometimes DoorDash, you have to really zoom in and spread out the area to know exactly where you're going and what the pickups and drop-offs look like. But the screen of the homepage, once you get the job, is pretty straightforward with DoorDash. But make sure you're looking out for single and double orders, because that can be a bit of a bit mind-blowing when you first get that. My day's going well, thank you. How's your day? How's everyone's morning, day, afternoon, wherever you are in the world? I will do some chat after this. I've only literally got a couple of tips that I wanted to share, really more for so people could come back and watch that, just in case they don't really want to listen to the chit chat or chat to me. I thought, well, I'll do something different. And my next tip, number 4, is take pictures. My biggest problem, and I don't know if anyone's ever had this, but when I first started, I didn't realize I needed to take pictures. I had no idea. I just went with the flow, and a lot of the times we'd deliver and then it would want a picture and we'd already been or dropped off, and then we'd just take a picture of my leg or the car or the letterbox, something really like that. So I guess just be aware they will need pictures unless it's a meet at the door, hand to me, etc. So that was a bit of a rookie error. And obviously look into alcohol orders, cigarette orders, know what's needed. You'll need ID, be prepared. These ones do take a lot longer. Obviously, they can be quite, it can be quite a bit more of a process than just a food delivery. So, and you would actually, if I remember rightly with DoorDash, it's the same as Uber, that you will need to do like a little crash course on alcohol deliveries first. So it will be like, common sense really. You can't serve to anyone that's under the age. You need to check for ID regardless of their age. They could look like 100-year-old man, but you still need to get proof of identification. Otherwise, I think there's like a $12,000 fine, which is pretty hefty really. You have to make sure that they're sober. You can't serve anyone that's not sober, which is pretty hard to tell whether they're sober or not. But yeah, so definitely they do take a bit more time. Cigarettes over here, you need a signature if they're getting cigarettes delivered to them. So you will need to see some ID. Number five, my last tip, I do have a couple of bonuses and then we'll get into the chat. Communicate with the customer. Obviously, that is a really big thing. Like, I didn't realize at first, but when you get there, you can send them a notification saying, hey, I'm just waiting for your order. There is also a DoorDash selection when you first get there, and I recommend doing this, is say that they're delayed. Because if you don't, DoorDash wonders, well, what you're doing. And it also gives DoorDash an idea of that restaurant, that place, that pickup, that, yeah, they're not as quick. Because DoorDash timings, I find, are out. They're not really, like, they say you're going to be late and you're like, well, no, that's not down to me. So I always get there and say they're running late, because it gives DoorDash a good idea of what restaurants are running behind. And not that they change their delivery times or anything like that, but at least you're doing everything to let the customer know there's delays, and you're letting DoorDash know their delays. I didn't know this when I first started. I didn't even know that I had to communicate with the customer. So it wasn't until probably about a month or two in, I realized, yeah, okay, well, this is probably better. I'm more likely to get, I guess we don't really get tips over here, but I'm more likely to get better feedback if I'm communicating, especially if there's delays. DoorDash will always tell you to ring when you're there. Ring the customer. You don't need to do that. You just need to follow the steps, which would be take the picture, not, ring the doorbell if they ask for that. A lot of them will say, just leave at my door. You'll just need a picture. But DoorDash will always tell you to ring the customer, which, like, it's just, I think it's part of DoorDash's, sort of system. I don't think it's actually needed unless the customer in their instructions tells you to ring. But yeah, then take that picture. And just some bonus tips, which I didn't know about, which you might find handy. And there might be more things that you think of that you can let me know in the comments below. If you are watching this repeat, it might be interesting. You might have more tips. It might be different in your part of the world. If you take a picture of your pizza bag and to send it to DoorDash to their customer support, you can now do pizza deliveries, which I didn't realize. And I've had a pizza bag from DoorDash that I paid for a while, and I didn't realize this until I think someone told me about the pizza bag. I had no idea. So it is a really handy thing to do. Get a pizza bag. You can get it from the DoorDash shop. I got quite a few things from the DoorDash shop. One of them was a big catering bag. So if you're getting double orders or something like that, or the customer has a large order, I've got a bigger door, because you get given one free bag, but the bags, the catering bags are obviously bigger. I used mine the other day. I had this massive order for Uber. It was like 6 bags. I could only get 3 in them. So maybe I need another catering bag. They do take up a lot of space in your car, really. But I mean, it's just in the boot anyway. It doesn't really hurt. But yeah, get your pizza bags, pictures sent to customer support. They will then let you, obviously do pizza deliveries, which adds to what you can deliver. There's also other things that I got. I got this mini little flashlight, torchlight, which is really handy for the dark. We all know how frustrating it is delivering at night. We went out again Friday night. Most porch lights aren't on. This little flashlight on DoorDash shop was like this big, and I think it was $11. And it is so powerful. It's so good. And you just obviously shine it and see that, because I mean, I think even delivering in the day is hard enough. Seeing door numbers, never mind at night when, it's harder to see. If you pick up from a restaurant and your order has been collected by another driver, call DoorDash, you will get 50% of the pay back to you. This happens a lot, especially I find on Sunday mornings with DoorDash. Like, they will send us to Woolworths that aren't even open yet. Or like, I've had a few times I've gone to collect an order and another driver has picked that up. I don't think I've experienced this with Uber yet, to be honest with you. I'm not aware of this. And I know with Uber, they don't give you the 50% back. But I don't think I've had this. I've only had it happen with DoorDash, where you get there and the order's been picked up by someone else. But remember, save DoorDash's customer support number in your phone. Always communicate with DoorDash is a problem. I guess that could be another tip as well, because, you don't want any bad feedback coming your way. That would be obviously... the more you communicate with problems with DoorDash, they will have your back more than anything. And one thing I would suggest as well, get the red card with DoorDash. It's like a digital app where you can go and do shop and delivers, and that increases more pay. I met someone last night out, and she was a supply teacher aide, and she does DoorDash at night and Uber Eats. She was doing Uber last night because there was a big quest on, and so was the rest of the world, I think, because the orders were really slow. But anyway, she said that she does Costco shop and delivers for DoorDash, and they're amazing. And Costco isn't in my area. I'd have to go into another area, which would be fine. It's only like a 15-minute drive from me. But she was saying they are obviously take a lot longer, but she had a $47 order to go and pick up 12 items from DoorDash from Costco. So it might be worth doing those kind of Costco orders. Anyway, those are my tips. I hope you found them useful. I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm probably not even touched the surface on. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll go through the chats now. How is everyone doing? I'm so glad you caught me live too. How are you? I haven't heard of you in ages. You'll have to send me a message. I hope that everything's going well with the family. I hope you're having a good Friday. You rescued a kitten stuck in the engine bay of the car. Oh my goodness. And I take it wasn't one of your kittens? Oh, that happens quite a lot. I know my neighbor, her cat used to always have kittens, and they would just get stuck in a tire or something. So yeah, poor kitty. At least you were there and you saved it. A stray kitty. Oh, that's no good. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Hope everything's going well. I know I get confused by that sober question. Like, what's it? They're not out driving. They're doing a service by not going out there driving. So why does it matter whether they're sober or not? Like, most people that obviously are ordering probably have already had a couple of drinks, and like, yeah, I'm not going to go out, I'm not going to drive, doing the right thing. And then we're supposed to, if they're not sober, we're supposed to turn around and go, sorry, I can't give you your order. You don't look sober enough for me. I think that's, oh my God, I think I mean, obviously I haven't had that happen. Everyone looks and appears to be sober. And like DoorDash does, and Uber do say, do they appear to be sober? So I guess you're not the police. You're not doing a breathalyzer or anything like that. So if they weren't sober, that is not on you. But if they appear sober, that is a different story. So, but yeah, like it is a kind of tricky, is a kind of, and I asked my husband about this because I couldn't work it out, and he was like, well, it's because if anything goes wrong and they go and do something really silly and you were the one that served them the drink, then it's on you. And I'm like, but that's crazy. Like, why is it on me? You know, I don't get it. It's not like they're out there driving and causing accidents because they're drunk. They're doing the right thing. But yeah, that's one thing. Yeah. And you will be taking, once you do DoorDash, you'll be signing up for these alcohol things, and you'll have to do a little mini course. Yeah, and Uber has quite a few of them too. They do like all different shop and deliver courses that you have to do. So yeah, just alcohol laws really, and you know, just got to follow the policies, because the last thing any of us want is a $12,000 fine because someone did the wrong thing. And you have to take their ID because it won't let you move on to your next delivery unless you do the ID. So that's not the best to do. But yeah, there's lots of irritating things. And DoorDash doesn't do like a quest, but if you do Uber, there's quests you can do. And I think I'm going to stop doing them. We did one last night and everyone was out. And the problem when that happens, the first quest we did probably about 2 months ago was awesome. It was non-stop. Within 2.5 hours, we made our money. We did the quest and we did the 12 jobs that we're supposed to and earned the money, walked away. But then now it's getting, I don't know, the quests are getting bigger, so more people are out. And the more people are out, the less jobs there are for us. And it was pulling teeth. It took us in the end, because we wanted to finish our last 12th job. In the end, I think we waited 45 minutes for a job to come through, and that's never happened on the quest before. So I'm definitely going to do DoorDash next time there's a big quest on. And I reckon I could have probably in 4 hours probably made just as much money on DoorDash. If you were smart, those kind of days, you probably should do DoorDash, not Uber Eats, because you should have seen the delivery drivers out last night, should have seen the orders. I mean, Fridays are always busy anyway. But yeah, it was full on. So, but yeah, that's my tips and tricks on doing DoorDash. I might do one like mistakes on Uber Eats at some point. They're both slightly different. Someone asked me on my YouTube this morning, I got it, like, what's the difference between Uber and DoorDash? I guess that could be another video too. Just try and keep these lives, a bit more interesting. Not everyone likes the chat, but I love chatting. And I love the fact that you guys are here. I've got my morning coffee. I'm actually sitting in my mom's house. She's got a house attached to ours, and she's in the UK at the moment because I didn't want to wake everyone up. The last few lives I've done, like, I get complaints. Oh, I heard you woke us up. You woke us. So yeah, so I'm trying to not wake everyone up because I'm an early bird. I was awake at 4:10 a.m. this morning. I'd rather get up early. Most of the time it's between 4:30 and 5 I get up. The cat doesn't let me sleep in anyway. Hey, Brittany. How are you going, lovely? Do you think avoiding types of delivery hurts your plan? I mean, obviously with DoorDash, you've got the acceptance rate. So if you're declining lots of orders, that does hurt you. DoorDash they will they make a big thing. You've declined so many orders. I really don't think, I think if they're busy, if supply and demand is big, then you're going to get the jobs regardless. So I think I've got a video coming out. I don't know if it's in the next day or two or whenever. I don't know when it is, but it was basically you don't need platinum DoorDash to get the good orders, in my opinion. In this area, you can still get them. Obviously, it's all to do with demand. If the demand is high, you're going to get good jobs. But I don't think, not doing alcohol deliveries or not doing shopping deliveries, I don't think that affects you. It's just you're going to have less to choose from. But yeah, I guess try and experiment and see how you go. Oh, really? I just got home I was just saying, I met a supply teacher out on, we were both waiting for orders last night. She was doing, she was doing Uber with me, but we both had DoorDash bags, but doing Uber. And she's like, oh, are you doing DoorDash? And I was like, oh, I'm actually doing Uber with a DoorDash bag. And she laughed and she's like, oh, me too. And she had her husband in the car too. So it was quite funny. We were quite similar and we had a chat, but she was saying that supply teacher work doesn't pay her enough and that's why she's out doing this. And obviously she was a bit like myself, wanting to come out and do this big quest that we had on. It was the biggest quest I've seen. It worked out for the 12 deliveries. It was $93. But saying that, it wasn't worth our time because everyone was out and it was just slow getting jobs. It took us 4 hours to complete. And normally we're done within 2.5 to 3 hours. And we only needed one more job by the third hour. And it took us 40 minutes to get that last job. So it's amazing how many people you talk to while you're out doing these deliveries. And I think that's also a good thing, socialization. Like when I'm working from home, my day job, I don't get to do that as much. Yeah, I'm talking on the phone, but I'm not really, out there. I'm not getting out there. So I think I've mentioned this quite a few times. It has helped my anxiety. It really has helped me get out the house and just be out and not, I felt like I was just like becoming a recluse in the house, working from home. And yeah, so there's a lot of benefits with doing, it's not just about the money. Obviously the money helps, the jobs help, but we all know they're never going to be that paid. It's not that paid. Well, the job isn't that paid. Unless you get lucky enough. I've had a few good Uber jobs where they've been $50, $60 orders. But I was saying the lady last night that I met, the one I was just saying, the supply teacher, she did a Costco order and she told me that I should be doing Costco orders because she got one for $47 and it was picking up 12 deliveries. So, but Costco really isn't in my zone. I'd have to go to the next zone, which it kind of sucks going out your zone because you don't know where you are. I don't know. It's taken me 3-4 months to get used to this area. And I've been in this area for about a year or two. So I can't imagine. The other area I know because I used to live in, but even so, I just feel like I like to stay in my own zone. You'll have to do a turning dollars into dollars video when you go to Vegas, or show my slot play. I do joke. There's been a few people I've talked to on the road, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a low paid job, but all I see is it's one push on the pokies, or we call them pokies, but one push on the slot machine for one delivery. There goes all my money. Oh, that's one delivery done. There's another delivery just on the slot machine. Yeah. So I honestly can't wait, but I've had to, because we've got another slot channel, my friend and I, and it's a really small slot channel, like really small. We only just started in October and we film our slot play, our pokies as we call them over here. And anyway, I thought it would be easy filming in Vegas casinos like slot play, but apparently you need to ask for permission. The hotel we're staying at is called the Fountain Blue, and I've had to email them asking and I've had to fill in a form. They've asked me for the size of the channel, the name of the channel, what am I filming? Obviously, I get it. Like, table play is a no-no. Like, they don't want to film. You don't want to film, the tables, but I'm filming just the slot machine. I'm not filming anything else. And it's the same over here. They're really funny with filming slots. I don't understand why. But yeah, but you know what's really annoying? If you've got a really large channel, they don't care. They're like, yeah, you've got a lot of clout. Like, you see everyone do it, and everyone's got an iPhone these days. Everyone films. So I think it would be hard to monitor, but I'd rather get permission than get told to delete my footage or something like that. How big is the zone? I don't know. Like, the zone I'm in is like 1, 2, 3 suburbs. And they're pretty big suburbs. But like, we have gone to different zones before where they are bigger and spread across. I don't know. Like, I think every part would have different size zones. Uber doesn't have zones though. You can literally get an order. We got one order last night that I declined, and it was going like 25 Ks for $17. And I was like, no, I'm not taking that. It would take me an hour just to get that done, and then I'm out my zone. But yeah, Uber, you don't have zones. Just DoorDash, you have the zones. But yeah, once you get the app and you sign up, you will see like the different you will see the different actual, the zone areas, and it will tell you the color of the actual, how big it is. But yeah, but I'm hoping to get the whole like live thing sorted, like, so I can, not live but streaming, or at least filming at the slots, because that's one of the reasons we're going to Vegas. I mean, obviously we're going to have fun and a holiday, but I want to make the most of it and film, sort of film on my iPhone. But apparently someone said that if you film on your iPhone, like, really, you're not making a big scene. You haven't got like a big tripod and camera crew, so it should be okay. But there is security and cameras everywhere in those casinos. 25K, what a joke. What's 25K and a joke? Did I miss something? I'm not sure about that one. But yeah. 25 kilometers. Is that, for the delivery. Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, I know, exactly. Like, and it was our last job that we needed to complete this quest, and we probably should have taken it because we waited 40 minutes after that. So we would have been home if we would have just taken that, gone and delivered it, and then dropped it off and then gone home, and but we waited 40 minutes thinking, oh yeah, a local job will come up. But no, we waited 40 minutes, and the last quest was $27. So we had to get that one delivery done. I need to edit the video. It's probably going to take a while. I'm probably about a week to 10 days behind at the moment with my videos. Your zone is 25 miles horizontal from one point to the other. It's probably pretty similar, 25 miles. What's that in Ks? It's probably about 40 Ks. So it's probably pretty much the same. But like with Uber, I don't know about the Uber over there, Brittany, but Uber over here, there's no such thing as zones. Obviously, it generally sends you to local areas, but there will be people that order on Uber that want you to drive quite a while. Uber Eats does suck here too. I was just saying to my partner last night, I honestly don't know how much longer I can do Uber. I mean, there's lots of advantages to Uber. You can decline jobs. I don't feel like they tell you off as much as DoorDash does, but the jobs are really low paid, and even the quest, like, everyone's out doing it. If they reject the order, they increase. Well, I have done that a few times. I've rejected a job because it's low paid, and Uber does come back with the same job, but I think they've only increased it by 50 cents. Like, it's never been that great, but I will give Uber some credit. Some of my biggest paid jobs are from Uber, and they've been like $50, $60 jobs, and that's for like 6 kilometers. And you get there thinking it's a scam, or there's, that's not really true. And then you get there and it's literally, it's legit. And you're like, whoa, why is this job paying this much? And I think sometimes what happens is the order's been waiting there so long, they just need someone to go in and deliver it, and they've had no one accept the job, or the timing. Like, I started at 5:30 one morning, and I think the people I dropped off were I know it was a $60 job. They said they ordered it 2 hours ago, and the guy that I needed his PIN from was asleep because he fell asleep. It was a nightmare, but $60 because I think they just needed the what's that in UK? It's probably about £30. Probably about £30, literally double the pound to the dollar, so, or half. So you get double the dollars over here if you came over here. When I first came to Australia, because I'm born and raised in the UK, I got three Aussie dollars to the pound, but obviously the dollar's gone. It's $2 now to the pound. Yeah, it was decent, and it literally took me 20 minutes, and I've had 2 of them now. One of them was a post-cyclone, so obviously you're going to get that. And I've also heard that with Uber, when you get a double pickup and it might not be as good, like the second one might be, you can like reject the one when you get there, and then you still get paid a decent amount for doing the 2. So I know. Well, I've been over here, like, so I first went to Australia in 2001, but I've actually been a permanent resident and a citizen since 2007. My kids are Aussie. Obviously, they were born over here, and I guess, although when I talk to some people, they say, "Oh, you sound so English." I was born and lived in a place called Solihull. I don't know if you know it. It's kind of the West Midlands, not far from Birmingham. But yeah, my mom is overseas at the moment in the UK visiting my brother, but my brother is actually coming over here and I'm sponsoring him, and he is hoping to come in July. Solihull. Oh, that's good. I think we might have spoken, actually. Birmingham, yeah. I think you might have mentioned, was it Acox Green? But yeah, it's a small world, isn't it, really? But I don't miss it. I honestly don't know how you would do gig work over in the UK with the traffic problems. I mean, it's bad enough over here with traffic. Never mind doing gig work over there. I don't know how they survive, like with the traffic and the cost of everything. So many cars on the roads, the highways, the chockers. And I'm going back 15, 20 years ago when I used to live over there. It's bad enough over in Australia now. Sometimes I sound British. I think it depends who I talk to too. When you speak to another English person, like I seem to like go into that accent. And then when I'm speaking to an Aussie, I go like say things that I don't normally say, and it's really random, like, "Hey, mate." I never say "hey, mate," but then if I'm talking to another Aussie, I seem to slip into that Aussie. Yeah. Oh, my husband would hate it over there. He hates, like, he drives around Sydney and Melbourne, and he's always complaining about traffic. And oh, thank you for joining. How are you? Thank you for your support too. And good to see that local Aussies are finding me too. And it's really nice. I was out yesterday, and you know what happened? It was really random. Obviously doing my quest, and I'm in McDonald's, and the queue was massive. Like, I should stop doing McDonald's. I say this every time. Stop doing McDonald's jobs. Like, just stop it. And every time I take them, I'm like, and every time I hate my life for taking McDonald's jobs. They're just the worst. customer service. They take forever. It's drinks villages, like you name it. Like McDonald's have got to be the worst to go to, but they're kind of like, you decline McDonald's, you decline a big percentage of your like orders. Anyway, the lady was in the shop and waiting. She was another delivery driver, and she goes, "Oh, you're the girl that does YouTube?" And I was like starstruck. I was like, I felt really embarrassed, and I felt really like awkward, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I do it." I mean, obviously I'm wearing a chesty GoPro, so it's kind of obvious. And I said, "Oh, how did you know?" And she said that basically another girl told her about me, and then I start going, "Oh my God, were they like saying things about me?" And I don't think they were. And like my husband's like, "Stop overthinking about it." But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It might be a known local, hopefully in a good way. I watch London Eats, and I don't know if anyone, I always talk about London Eats, love his channel. I always give his channel a plug. Not that he needs a little local small channel like myself to give him a plug, but every time he's out, people are shouting, "Yay, hey, London Eats." And it must be just so random, and people that actually watch his channel. Well, I could film in the McDonald's, but after that incident with that McDonald's staff saying she didn't want to be on the camera, and there was so much drama about apparently she doesn't want people to know where she is, even though I blurred her. I do film in some McDonald's. It's just not that particular McDonald's because I just don't want the drama. It caused so much drama. She basically told me she'd get the police involved because I filmed her, and like we sorted it out. I managed to edit my video. And she said, I look like the bad person. Well, you were pretty rude. And, so it kind of like, I don't know, like, I guess some people just don't want to be on camera. And I've got to realize that, like, even though I don't need their permission and I did blur her, there's always, going to be people that have their own issues. You don't know what she's been through. But yeah, now I'm just respectful of, I'm just respectful of, obviously I blur them out anyway, but I don't know, like you just can't win really, can you? Whatever you do, there's always going to be an issue. Insurance for DoorDash. Well, funny you should say that. I just have my normal car insurance. I've never changed it. And someone said that it's really hard to get insurance. And I spoke to my husband about this, and I said, do we need like business insurance because I'm out here? And obviously I'm only doing it part-time or casually. But apparently it's really hard to get insured. So it's just comprehensive. So yeah, apparently I don't know if that would be a problem if anything happened. But whether they would know that you're actually doing food deliveries, I don't know. I think it's because I go around with my camera, Brittany, though. Like I've got it strapped to my chest. You're probably a bit more, because I was thinking about that. Like you never see people like for Meaty Mama, who's got a massive following, like, but she holds her GoPro pretty low. She doesn't advertise it. I've got my big chesty on, and half of me thinks maybe I should just start carrying my camera rather than actually being really obvious and wearing it on my chest. But for every bad like problem, there's probably 10 lovely comments that ask me questions about it and want to check out the channel. So it really does more good than harm. So I can't. I think if you went around with your camera on your chest, Brittany, I reckon within a few months people would start saying the same thing, and you would probably. Because do you wear a camera, Brittany? You don't. I don't think. Yeah. Oh, I just hold my phone and some people look at my. Yeah. See, I started off with my phone, but I found it really hard, like using the apps as well as filming. So I just thought I'd get the GoPro. The GoPro is a great investment, and I also got the Insta360 now, which is really good at night, but. Not so much because people don't leave the porches on, and it's still quite hard to film in the dark, that's for sure. Yeah, well, that's why I said the police wouldn't do anything. It's not, they've got bigger crimes to commit, surely. And what are they going to do? Like, oh, sorry, we've got this crime, but we're going to talk to, we're going to talk to this lady because she filmed and she blurred someone. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't need permission to film. It's a one-person approval for filming. Yeah, you have normal car insurance. That makes me feel so much better because a friend of mine was like, oh, you won't get covered if anything happens, as soon as and I said, well, how do they know that you were doing a food delivery? Unless say, for example, you had a car crash. And I probably shouldn't say this on here because you never know what, but who's going to know that it was from that? I think the insurance thing, someone said it's more for, I think, if you had a business or a food truck, not for just doing normal deliveries, because when you sign up for DoorDash and Uber, they don't ask for a specific type of insurance. They just want to see that your car's insured. And like you said, like maybe Uber, like drive share, that was probably what it was probably more for. But yeah, well, I must admit, I am starting to get a bit anxious about people recognizing me, Brittany. I am starting to think, oh, do I be a bit more discreet? Because I don't know, like I said, I've always said this, my anxiety gets really bad. And I've had people at McDonald's when I've got my camera on me and I'm not even filming a different McDonald's, this one, and they start whispering, and they're probably not even whispering about me, but then, yeah, you had an accident on the way and they didn't. Yeah, well, they don't say, oh, well, you've had an accident. Now, all they care about is who's to blame. Is there any witnesses? Like, they don't go, where were you going? What were you doing? Like, they just want to know, like, where the accident happened, who the problem was, who the driving, the driving license of the person and rego of the person. They're not going to go, well, were you going to the shops? Like, were you doing a DoorDash delivery? No, I was going to Coles. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't think insurance would be a problem unless you open your mouth and said, well, actually, I was doing food delivery. Then that might be a bit of a different situation. Just give out less information, I'd say. But yeah, I've had that question asked me a few times, but I think it is for more ride share. That's for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to think, do I take the camera off? Do I start holding it? But then the picture quality I find is like, it's lower. You're managing bags and it's a little less easier to, like, if it's just hands-free, it's so much easier for deliveries. You don't have to, you've got the amount of times you're carrying big bags and you've got your camera, you're trying to take pictures of the delivery, you've got new jobs coming in. It just makes my life so much easier. But yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe just going into the actual food places, the restaurants, maybe I hold my camera. The last thing I want is, being known. I don't know, but then I see Uber Eats and I think, well, it hasn't affected him. He's nearly got 300,000 subscribers. Everyone seems to love him. I think you either love or hate him, and most people love him. You're always going to get people that don't like you. That's just a fact, isn't it? There's going to be people that, oh, she's the one that comes in and records. Yeah, exactly. For my safety too. And they don't even need to know about my channel. I can just like, well, I'm just proving that I picked up an order. I had this horrible customer complaint the other day. Another video that I'm editing that will be out probably in about a week or so. And basically, yeah, his drink spilt and ruined his McDonald's. I didn't even realize it was a coffee drink. But he texted me afterwards, basically, had a right go at me. And at the end of the day, McDonald's, as much as I can be careful and I get it, like you try and be as careful as you can. The amount of potholes in the roads at the moment because of all the rain we had. Also, the pickup was from a service station on the highway. It was at McDonald's, another McDonald's problem. Yet again, it's always McDonald's, the one that I have issues with. Like always spillages, always. And he had a go at me and I felt like saying, you know what, you could go pick up the order yourself. Like if there's such a big problem, go pick up the order yourself. Anyway, it kind of does make you want to quit sometimes because you're like all this, all these dramas and all these. But like as someone said, dramas make good videos. I'll use it to my advantage, but I take it seriously and I get really upset by bad feedback. It's really hard not to get upset by bad feedback. And you just have to take it with a grain of salt. And as someone mentioned previously, the people out there that use these delivery apps, most times that they're going to leave bad feedback is because, they're not going to ever leave good feedback. And they're going to just complain. And unfortunately, it's their word against my word. And it's also their morals against my morals. Like what was an accident for me was like, how dare you ruin my breakfast? Well, I wasn't the one that put your coffee in with your food that McDonald's put all together. I was driving on the highway. I secured your bag as well as I could. But obviously, unless you want to go get it yourself, then I'm sorry, it was an accident. I know it's not ideal and I'm sorry your food was ruined. But sometimes I think they want free food too. Yeah, gotta be a duck. Take it. Oh, that's a good saying. Let the water just flow over me, I'm sure I'll build up a hard resistance, a tolerance against negative feedback. I don't know, in the line of industry I work in, I always get good feedback. I mean, there's always going to be people but I always get like candidates that say how amazing I've been and I've helped them secure a job and thank you so much. You've been amazing. You've been so organized. You've been on time. You've done everything to help me get the best job, the best rate. And I had this amazing one this week and he said he'll be using me again. He'll recommend other nurses to me. And yeah, like I get good feedback. I very rarely get bad feedback in my job. I mean, sometimes people complain and say, oh, but very rarely, like they just don't bother, it's just, but then when you go to this kind of industry, you're going to get complaints and I reckon people are after free food. It's as simple as that. Yeah, well, some McDonald's do over here, like depending on the McDonald's, depending on the person packing it. I find different, even that one McDonald's that I got the drink, sometimes they give it separately, sometimes, but normally they tell you when they hand you a bag, be careful, it's got coffee in. That would be common sense, right? When they gave it me, there was no, like, and I looked at the order of what they were ordering. I didn't see a drink on there. And what I like, as much as KFC is annoying with their wait times, at least when they give drinks, they put it in a separate bag, and they're also cans. So that, I mean, KFC wait times can be a joke, but the fact that, you can't go wrong with a can in a bag. Why don't McDonald's do that? Obviously, coffees are a bit different. You can't deliver a coffee in a can. Maybe we should invent something for delivery drivers for coffee spillages, or not, or for these big McDonald's companies that use, maybe there's a way that you just can't spill it, because it is a never-ending battle, isn't it, for trying to keep everyone happy, trying to get the order there in a decent time. Try and keep your eyes on the traffic, go the speed limit. You can't go so slow that, oh, I've got to be careful. Got the coffee in my bag, can't go over any bumps. Yeah, screw-on lids. And sometimes they do stick them, like they sellotape them. But another one is Cafe 63. Their coffees, I've had them spill on me a couple of times too. But screw-on lids, but obviously that's going to cost them more money. And then obviously someone's got to pay the price for that. Coffee has got to be the hardest thing to deliver. Because unless I'm holding it or putting it in my cup tray, which they don't come loose, they're in a bag, then there's not something I can really control. And I always try and put my seat belt around them lately to secure it. But it helps if you know that there's a coffee in there, like McDonald's never said. But yeah. Well, I've nearly been going an hour now. I might wrap up things. If you can, give it the thumbs up if this is something you've enjoyed. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment. Feel free to subscribe. Look at my vlog videos. There is a playlist where you can just watch the whole playlist. I am trying to get my hour views up. I'm still a little bit away from my next goal. So if anyone wants to put my playlist on in the background, it does help. And you would help me out. You don't have to physically watch them all. I'm sure you've probably already watched them anyway. You have a nice weekend too. Thanks for joining. I do appreciate your time this early. And hopefully the kitten was okay and you did a good thing this morning. So always helps when you do something nice. You feel a lot better, like you've rescued a kitty. But thanks everyone for watching, and take care and have a great weekend. And yeah, take care guys. Bye.